Wait a minute. Hold on.
Just hold it a second, Lem. Liz? You hear me, girl?
What do you want now?
You gotta play that thing so loud? It'll come out like this first.
Oh, don't bother me.
Liz. Someday I'm gonna give that she-cat a whopping she's been asking for.
Sure you will, Dave. Bring the law down to her. Let her know who wears the pants around here.
Be back in a minute.
Any whooping's done back there, I'll lay you a jug. She'll be doing it.
Come on now, Lem, and tell us about that thing you killed out there at the swamp, will you?
Yeah, Lim, let's hear the rest of that.
Like I was saying, I put 5 slugs into that critter before it went under. Doggonest thing I ever seen. Had regular arms on it like a man. But it was sort of different looking. Had suckers on them. Like one of them octopuses things. Oh, it was plumb off looking.
Lim, you sure that critter wasn't pink?
Oh, I told you before it was sort of gray looking. Well, laugh if you want. But that thing weren't nothing nature put out there. Oh, sir. And it weren't no freak gator neither. I've been poaching this country for 40 years, and I ain't never seen nothing like it.
Well, too bad you didn't bring it back. Steve Benton probably paid a fair bounty for whatever it was.
Bounty? I wouldn't touch that critter for all the money he ever made. And if you seen it, you wouldn't either.
You better take it easy on this stuff. You looking kind of peaked.
No. I'm gonna clean my otter lines out before morning.
Lem, I think that critter's a ghost of one of those otters you've been poaching all these years, coming back to haunt you.
Well, if that's so, you fellers will see it right quick yourselves.
Boys. Look, it's not like I want to be mean or anything like that, Liz, baby. I got a reputation around here. These folks have no respect for a man who lets his woman boss him. Well, next thing they know, they'll be laughing at me. And they'll be telling all the rest of the... Won't you please listen to me, Liz, baby? Liz?
At me like that.
I'll look at you any way I want. You're my wife.
Don't touch me.
Who do you think you're talking to? Don't touch me. You're my wife. I'll touch you any time I feel like it. Where you going? Where you going?
I'm going out. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe I won't.
Liz, baby, I didn't mean nothing.
The young one in that last trap. I had to kill it.
Oh, poor thing.
Told you shouldn't have come along.
Well, I can understand hunting an animal, but making it suffer in those traps, it's horrible.
Well, these poachers know the swamps like the back of their hands. But I'll catch one of them in the act some night and put him away for 6 months. Meantime, I'll have to be satisfied confiscating their trap lines. You lose enough traps, it won't pay them to keep trying.
Well, be careful, darling. These people aren't like other folks. You know, they'll try and get back at you.
Let them try.
Steve, you're a stranger here. They've lived this way for generations. One man isn't going to change them overnight.
You're a real worrywart.
Oh, I'm serious, Steve. They can be dangerous.
Okay, I'll be careful. You just stop worrying.
Oh, Steve, I love you. I love you so much. What was that?
I don't know. You get in that truck and lock it up.
Listen, Benton. The coroner ruled that Sawyer died by misadventure. Now, as far as this officer's concerned, that's the end of it.
But, Sheriff, I can't see why
Look,
they're...
if Lem was killed by anything human, I wouldn't need you to tell me my job. But I'm not about to go tromping through the swamp looking for an overgrown gator.
Sawyer wasn't killed by an alligator.
Is that so? Did you hear that, Moulton? Game Warden Benton says it wasn't a gator killed Lem. Well, then what was it? You know so much. Go on, tell me. What killed him?
Doc Greyson said the wounds were the kind of squid or a large octopus might cause.
Oh, sure. And did Greyson explain how a saltwater creature happened to be 30 miles inland living in clear water?
Stranger things have happened. I know...
Look here, Benton. You work for the state. Now, why don't you keep your nose out of county business? Is that clear enough for you?
Oh, go soak your fat head.
What was that you said?
I said go soak your fat head.
Oh, that boy's looking for bad trouble. And he's sure going to get it. You can bet on that.
So you see, the octopi uses its suction discs to hold its prey. Now, in itself, the disc will not inflict a wound. Same is true of the squid. Now, both creatures have a parrot-like beak as their primary offensive and defensive weapon.
Well, maybe the sheriff was right, Dad. Could be a freak or a malformed alligator.
No, I'm afraid it wasn't.
Well, where does that leave us, Doc?
I wish I knew. You know, I'm beginning to think Lem was telling the truth in Walker's store. He did see something that night. Something that had intelligence enough to seek him out and destroy him later.
But Sawyer claims to have killed the thing he saw. Put a half a dozen rifle bullets into it. I've seen that old 44-40 he used. Nothing could live after being hit with those slugs.
Well, conceding the possibility of one such creature, we must also concede the possibility of others.
Well, there's one sure way of finding out. Go in and search every backwater, channel, and wet spot in the swamp. If it's there, I'll find it.
quiet around here.
Did you hear something?
Yes?
Well, whatever it was, it's not here anymore.
Do you want some coffee?
Yeah, thanks, son.
An army could hide in here and never be noticed.
Well, one did.
What?
The Seminoles under Osceola in the 1830s. Took the U.S. Army 2 years to round them up.
Oh, I remember reading about Osceola in high school. 2 years. You've only been at it 2 days, and I feel worn out.
Well, you might as well keep on looking around. Well, I guess we may as well give up for today.
Well, you won't get any argument from me.
I'm asking you for the last time, Dave Walker. You answer me, you dirty old man.
I ain't dirty, Liz, baby.
Liz, baby. Liz, honey. Can't you think of anything else to say, stupid?
I gotta get this order over to Miss Shovey. She's one of my better customers. Can't keep her waiting. I love you, Liz, baby.
Get out. Get out, you fat pig!
You, have some trouble, Dave?
You know women, Cal. Gotta get the hair down every now and then.
You sure do know an awful lot about females. I gotta hand it to you.
I can't stand here jawing, Cal. Gotta get this order over to Miss Shovey.
What's she letting her hair down about this time?
Well, ever since Lem got herself killed, she wants me to sell out and move into town.
Don't you let her bamboozle you, Dave. You keep her right here in the store. After all, the place wouldn't be the same without you around.
Thanks, Cal. I better get going. See you when I get back.
Yeah, I'll be around. Liz, baby. It's Cal, honey.
You want something, Cal?
I sure do, honey.
dead.
Me too. Come on over here. It seems kind of silly knocking ourselves out looking for something we aren't even sure exists.
What do you mean?
You know, we've covered miles of back channel and haven't come across anything to support your father's theory of an alien creature. Not so much as a mud print we couldn't identify.
I know. You're not going to give up, are you, Steve?
Well, I can't waste any more time on a wild goose chase. With all respect to your father's ideas.
Dad seems so sure.
You're some woman, Liz. I reckon I never met a woman like you before.
You really like me, Cal?
You kidding? No, I didn't hurt you now, did I?
It's just that you're so strong. I like a man that's strong.
You sure picked a doozy, that man, Dave. I don't think he's got a muscle in him. Just a big piece of flab. Oh, honey, I didn't mean anything against you. Just that I can't see a real woman like you tying with a tubby-lard like him.
You wouldn't understand, Cal. You know, I've wanted to tell you. You just wouldn't understand.
Pete, try me. Come on, you tell old Cal all about it.
You wouldn't think bad of me?
Crazy. You tell me you killed your pa and your ma and your whole family. I fight to protect you.
First husband was a no-good bum. Couldn't keep a job more than a week. Used to get lushed up, come home beat up on me.
He must have been a prize pig.
One night he tried to hold up a gas station. He was so drunk he couldn't even run. They caught him less than a mile away. He got sent up. I got a divorce.
It's rough.
After 3 years working in a lousy beanery, I was ready for the first guy to say a nice word to me. It was Dave. That's it.
I wish it had been me. I'd know how to take care of a woman like you, Liz.
Maybe it ain't too late, Cal.
You're wrong, woman. It's too late for the both of you. Get up. Come on, get up.
Now, look, Dave, I know what you're thinking, but...
I got double-large shot in this here thing. You got 2 seconds before I pull the trigger.
No point getting riled, Dave. Wasn't my fault. She's been pestering me for months to take her out.
Sure, Cal. I understand. Get her up so I can get a better look at the line, little tramp. Come on, get her up. Come on, get up.
No. No, he'd kill me. He'd kill me.
Jumping. When your husband wants to take a look at you. You walk all the way, Dave?
One more step and I'll blow you plumb in two. Get over there.
Now, David, ain't as bad as you think.
Shut up! Tramp.
What are you going to do?
You'll find out soon enough.
Dave, you put down that gun before I get mad and make you eat it.
You go ahead and try it, Cal. Go right ahead and try it. Move! Move! Like a fool child.
Go on. Cal.
Come on, keep going.
Dave, please, you gotta listen. It wasn't my fault, honest. She kept playing up to me every time you turned your back. It wasn't my fault.
You call yourself a man. You and your muscles.
Shut up, you tramp! If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be in this fix. And my old friend Dave wouldn't be doing this thing to me. It's all your fault.
Oh!
Get going.
But Dave, we've been friends. We've been friends a long time, Dave. You wouldn't kill an old friend, Dave.
If you don't move, I'll kill you where you stand.
But Dave!
Pray, big man.
I didn't mean it, Dave. I didn't mean it. Dave, the kid is out here. Please, Dave.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry, Dave. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
You think you'll learn enough to stay away from a woman, Cal?
Anything, Dave. I'm moving out of the county. I'll do anything you say, Dave. Anything.
All right. Come on out of there.
Dave! Oh, let me go. Oh, my God. Look out! Behind you!
There ain't nothing down here, Sheriff.
Well, I'm getting tired of this. Come on in, boys. Well, if there was any bodies out there, we'd have found them. I want some straight answers, Walter. And don't give me any more of that crud about monsters, either. Where'd you hide them after you killed them?
I told you the truth, Sheriff. I didn't kill them. I just wanted to scare them good. I loved my Liz. I wouldn't do anything to hurt her. I loved her.
Sure. You loved her. That's why you chased her through the swamp with a shotgun. Come on, Walker. Where'd you hide the bodies?
Won't you believe me? It was some monsters. They...
Take him out of here before I lose my temper.
My Liz.
County pay a reward if someone finds a body, Sheriff?
$50.
Each.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought that of old Dave. Of course, everybody knowed that Cal and Liz had a hankering for each other. Everybody but old Dave.
Darn fools. Grappling out there in the middle of the water. If them bodies are still in there, you can bet some old bull gator's got 'em stuffed in his cave under the bank, letting 'em ripen up for a few days.
Yeah, well, what we need now is some long cypress poles to go in there and probe them gator caves.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Doc, I can't do it.
I'll have to do it myself.
Wouldn't want to have to arrest you, Doc, but I will if I find you near the preserve with any explosives.
Steve.
Sorry, Nan, that's the way it's got to be.
Steve's right, Nan. It's his job to protect wildlife.
What about human life? 3 people have been killed in that game preserve. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
Nan, try to understand. If I could be sure something in the swamp was responsible for those deaths, I wouldn't hesitate a minute. We've been together the last 3 days. We didn't see a trace of anything unusual. Not so much as a suggestion of any form of life unknown to us.
Steve, something killed those people.
All right, I'll admit Sawyer's death left a lot of questions unanswered. But you can bet your bottom dollar the other 2 died from Dave Walker's shotgun.
Do you really believe that?
Figure it out, Nan. Walker admitted chasing his wife and cow into the swamps after he found them together. He shot them and he tried to place the blame on Sawyer's DTs. If Sawyer had told of seeing purple giraffes with polka dot tails, Walker would have claimed they did it.
There's one argument against that, Steve. Dave Walker wasn't the kind of a man to hang himself, not even with 2 murder charges against him. I talked with Dave less than an hour before he killed himself. That man was in a state of shock. I've seen frightened men before, terrified men. But I've never seen anything to compare with the horror and the fear in Walker's eyes.
Well, he realized what he'd done and he killed 2 people. One his wife. Oh, look, Doc, Nan and I were all over that swamp. And why didn't these monsters attack us?
I've been thinking about that. They're probably night creatures. They can't stand the light and they stay down near the bottom during the day. A small charge would stun them, bring them to the surface.
Can't buy it, Doc.
You're pig-headed, Steve Benton. Stubborn and pig-headed.
You just don't understand, do you? Good night, Doc.
them reeds. Just can't figure old Dave out.
If you was caught like Cal, what would you do?
I hadn't thought of that. Right over there in them reeds is where that big one used to be.
Yeah.
Caught some good catfish in that hole. Boy, this is sure a hot one.
Right unseasonable. Sure is funny.
Huh?
Ain't you noticed anything?
Oh, what?
We've been prodding around you all morning. Ain't run across a single gator. By rights, this pool should be crawling with them. Sure funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
I don't like the looks of things. Let's call it a day.
Well, now, wait a minute. We ain't pulled the gator holes around the bend yet.
You do what you want to do, boy. Just get me on dry land, and right quick.
All right. Now, ain't no use getting all head up. Let's go. You better quit drinking that moonshine. That's why you're so wrinkling ugly. Oh, we out here. Wild goose chase.
We've been calling, but there's been no answer.
Oh, I just got back. What seems to be the trouble?
Well, haven't you heard?
Old Sam Peters and Porky Reed have disappeared.
Come on inside.
You know Kovis. Nothing would please him more than to have all the swamp people disappear. Swamp trash, he calls them.
I know.
They have about as much regard for him as he has for them. When they're worried enough to go to him, you know something's wrong.
Mrs. Reed said the men went searching for Cal and Mrs. Walker's bodies, and they never returned.
Kovis says he'll get up a search party if they don't show up in a couple of days.
Doc, you and Nan take your car and get as many volunteers as you can. Tell them to meet me at the old wagon road. I'll call Doak Evans and have him bring his dogs. Either they're lost or they've had an accident.
I hope to heaven you're right. Well, they picked up the scent anyway.
Dad, do you think they'll find them?
Only the good Lord can answer that.
Well, at least we know they got this far. All right, let's split up into two parties and circle the lake. Keep your eyes open. Let's move out. All right, let's keep moving. Well, we can't do anything more tonight. Might as well start back.
I reckon ain't no use hurrying now, Mr. Benton. Reed and old Sam was alive. They'd let us know with a holler or something.
Yeah, it kind of looks that way.
You fellas notice anything about this lake? I mean the gators.
What about them?
They ain't. A piece of water this size usually has maybe 50, 60 big uns around. A whole lot of little ones. It's real unnatural.
Well, maybe our torches scared them away.
Nothing scares gators. Nothing. Animal or human.
Well, we might as well get out of here.
You got something in mind, Steve?
I keep thinking what Evans said about the gators. Nothing scares them, animal or human. And yet something made them leave. Maybe a mineral contamination. Guess I better run some water samples.
Come on, you two. Drink your coffee.
And supposing there is no contamination?
Well, then I'll send over to Eastport for a diving rig and go down to look for this monster of yours.
No, Steve, don't even joke like that.
I'm not joking, Nan. I had some training with an aqualung while I was in the Navy.
But, Steve...
Look, there are 2 bodies we know for sure down there. Maybe 4. They've got to be brought up.
Wait a minute. There are no alligators in that part of the swamp, right?
So?
No sign of any fish or snakes?
No. Well, what are you getting at, Doc?
Well, there goes your argument about setting off a dynamite charge underwater. You'd bring the bodies to the surface.
Get it out of your mind, Doc. I'm not using any explosives as long as there's another way.
Why must you be such a...
Stubborn pighead?
Exactly.
I'll tell you why. Number one, there's bound to be some aquarian life in that section, even if the bigger forms have abandoned it. Explosion underwater would destroy every living thing and wreck what nature took years to build up. Number two, I'm paid to prevent the useless slaughter of wildlife. Number three, I'd have to get authorization. And to get that authorization, I'd have to come up with a heck of a good reason. Satisfied?
Finish up, Dad. I want to go home.
Steve, how long will it take to get this diving equipment from Eastport?
A couple of days. Why?
Oh, nothing. Take care of yourself, Steve. Well, here's hoping.
Dad, can't you throw the dynamite in from here?
No, I want to get it out into the middle, in the deepest part.
All right.
Let you go any minute.
Just can't figure it out. Walker's wife, why didn't her body come to the surface?
I don't know.
I think I better walk over to the coroner's office.
What's the matter, Mr. Benton? You feel awkward about arresting my father in his own home?
I warned him I'd arrest him if he used dynamite.
It's nice of you.
Well, the autopsy should be over by now.
Oh, Steve. I thought you'd be here.
I don't like to have to do this, Doctor.
Do we have time for a cup of coffee first?
Sure.
You mind, honey?
No, I'll make some sandwiches.
One thing is certain, for all the good it'll do now. Dave Walker didn't shoot Cal. I just come from the autopsies. Kovis tried to keep me out. But I told him I'd raise a stink they'd smell all the way to the Capitol if he did.
Well, what killed them, Doc?
Not drowning. And Cal wasn't shot either. Every drop of blood was drained out of their bodies. And they had wounds on their throats. Suction wounds. Like a gigantic leech might make. And there's something even more incredible. Now, Cal was supposed to have been killed several days ago. Sam and Reed have been missing a matter of 48 hours. All three of them, as far as we know, are in that lake a minimum of 2 days. Now, I'd stake my reputation as a doctor that Cal hadn't been dead more than 2 or 3 hours when we found him, and the other 2 less than that. First stage rigor mortis started in during the autopsy.
But how could that be, Doc? It's impossible.
The coroner will confirm it. Whatever killed him is still in that lake, and it's going to take more than dynamite to get it out.
Concussion from those charges would have killed a full-grown whale. That explains how Cal and the others lived after they were supposed to be drowned.
What do you mean?
Well, this whole region is riddled by caves and caverns cut out by the ocean thousands of years ago. If there are caves above the water, then there must be caves under the water.
Go on.
Mike and I had a chance to fool around with some frogman equipment captured from the Italian Navy. We sort of prowled through a sunken transport off Salerno. When the ship went down, it trapped some air inside the hull. We'd go down, come up inside the officer's lounge, take off her face mask, and sort of sample some of the bottles floating around. We'd drive the guys crazy trying to figure out how we were getting the stuff.
You mean you think that there's an ale pocket or a cave underneath the lake?
Right, gotta be. How else could those people have lived down there? Not only that, it explains how, whatever it is down there, lived through the concussions.
Steve. Liz Walker. She might still be down there. Alive.
Comfortable?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want me to go down for you, Mike? You haven't had one of these things on for a long time. Well, me, every other day I've been playing fish.
Not this time, Mike.
If you ask me, they ought to have their heads examined. Giant leeches.
Well,
I'm willing to bet a month's pay they don't come up with nothing more than excuses. He's crazy. Him, the doc, and his brat, too. Just wait till I get on the phone to the Capitol. I'll guarantee somebody will wish they'd kept their nose out of other people's business. I'll guarantee that.
Let's go, Mike.
Steve! Be careful, please.
Don't worry, Mike will be ready if anything goes wrong.
Don't worry about Steve. Now, if you were going after Barracuda, you might have a tiny bit to worry about.
Ready, Mike?
Not exactly inviting, is it?
That sure isn't. Hold her steady, Mike.
It'll stop anything up to a tiger shark. But you gotta hit. Misses don't count. Now, anything goes wrong, just yank on the line, and I'll be down in a hurry. To go down and finish it off for you, Steve?
No, thanks, Mike. I think I hurt it pretty bad.
Careful now. Anything hurts 10 times as dangerous.
He's wounded it. He's going to finish it off.
Does he have to go under again?
He's got to make sure, honey.
Where could it have come from?
I wish I knew. We'll have to make some tests. Maybe the proximity of Cape Canaveral's got something to do with it.
The rocket station?
Well, they use atomic energy in the first stages of launching. Not all of them have been successful.
You think that if some animal life was close by, not close enough to be killed, but close enough to feel the effects of a radioactive energy that's...
A mutation. A type of gigantism of some common animal. Whatever it is, I hope he's able to bring it up.
Could have done that. Look at her face.
I've been around here for years. I never saw nothing like that before.
There was no sign of them this time. They must be licking their wounds.
You sure you used enough stuff to do the job, Mike?
I used 100 sticks to 40%. Ought to blow the bottom right out.
All right, let her go.
Oh, no. I've done enough of your dirty work. Help yourself.